Okay. So we move into, why did it happen? That's the second part after what happened. Why did it happen? So why did it happen gives you an idea of what to do. So for example, if you are looking at data about your warehouse and you realize that you can actually see that products are being delayed to arrive at the customer's shop. And if you can find out why did it happen. So it could be that your drivers are just always having coffee and having cigarette, and they're really just chilling out. Do you require to do anything? Yes, probably you need your HR to speak to them and stuff like that. Or it could be that, it could be anything. Maybe there's traffic, maybe you need to improve your logistics and so on. So why it happened is also important because that gives you a perspective of what can you do to mitigate the kind of data that you're seeing and how do you kind of change it. So why it happened, that's why that is important. And you also want to make sure that, and so when you look at data of why it happened, you have to use a multi-dimensional modeling. So it looks at it from different ways and come up with, this is why I think this happened. Then you move to predictive. And predictive, I said that that's where you have a lot of scarcity because what are the likely outcomes? That involves a lot of people that have statistics background, people that can actually do logic very well. And you can see it's data plus logic plus business rules. So when you start moving to predictive, you need just more than descriptive of charts and and looking at what happened and why it happened. Then you need to start thinking about, based on what we are seeing, what are the possible outcomes? What could actually happen? That's where predictive comes in. So it's always complex logic and business rules. And most of the time, they kind of show you a problem or they kind of show you an opportunity. So when you look at predictive will tell you that if this continues to happen, we might end up having X revenue, which is good, or we might end up having X negative net income, which is bad. So it kind of gives you an idea of what, and it's most of the time will tell you probability of why that would happen. So it can tell you the probability that this would happen is this, and the probability that that would happen is that. So it gives you a very, very data-driven idea of what are the possible outcomes. Any questions? So I put this up again, which just shows you how things kind of move. And you can see here you have raw data, clean data, standard reports, which is just showing you, standard reports are just mostly descriptive. Then ad hoc reports and online processing as well. So that starts showing you more stuff. Then you have predictive analytics, then you have predictive modeling. But where you really want to get to is optimization of what should I do based on what I have. And that's where we talk about prescriptive. So if you think about when you go to doctors, what do? They ask you questions. What's wrong with you? How do you feel? Does it happen at night? Does it happen in the morning? And then they'll say, okay, the predictive now comes and say, okay, most likely you have this problem or that problem. And they'll say, okay, maybe let's do a blood test to be sure that it's this problem. So, when you go there, they don't just tell you, do a blood test. They ask you symptoms, and those are descriptive. And they kind of have a diagnostic and say, okay, the reason why you have this is because the weather is changed or the weather is this. So that's how diagnostics comes in. Then they kind of predict that it's likely this or that. And they now tell you, and then they'll do a test to find out what is actually a problem. Then they give you prescriptions of medication or sometimes lifestyle to do to make sure that that kind of reverts. I think we're a little bit clearer now. So then we say we move from hindsight to foresight. Pretty simple, what happened in the past and what could happen in the future. So this is a case of moving optimized data. And if you look at descriptive analytics, it says 100 mid-sized customers bought product X last year. That is descriptive. And the next thing is 10% of our customers will grow to mid-size next year and be eligible for upsell to product X. So you can see that the predictive is giving you an idea of, so if once you have this, what would you do? I mean, it's on the screen, but once you have that, then it tells you that you can actually take an action. So we have 100 mid-sized customers, and 10% of our customers that are not in mid-size, 10% of your entire customer is also going to grow into that. So maybe we should do some math to kind of make it interesting. So let's assume you have 500 customers in total. 400 so you have 500 in total, you have 100 is mid-size, 400 is small size. And so the first descriptive analytics you can see is 100 mid-size customers brought product X. So let's assume you have products X and Y. So predominantly these guys are buying Y and these guys are buying X. That's the information that you have. So based on the predictive analytics, 10% of our customers will grow to mid-size next year and be eligible for upsell to product X. How many people are going to move to mid-size?
40.
Sorry?
40 people.
Good. 40. So you now have 40 people, 40 that will move to mid-size. So at the end of the day, you're going to have 360 small size, and you are going to have 140 mid-size. But this is, again, what did we call this? Predictive. So it's not actual, but it's a prediction, and it tells you this is what could happen. So let's assume that to serve small size guys, let's assume you're a distributor, and the mid size, they actually come to your location, to your warehouse to pick up goods. But the small size, you have to buy trucks to supply them. And at the moment, you have 10 trucks that can supply 400 people, that can supply 400 customers. So immediately your product, this is telling you 40 people are going to join, 40 people are going to join mid-size. How do you feel? How do you feel? To increase, good, but how do you feel? What would go through your mind if you're a business owner? Sorry?
It's good progress.
Sorry?
It's good progress.
It's good progress, yes. But how is it good? I want you to tell me more. Why is it good? Profit could likely increase. Then again, what else? Okay, you can drive more value from them. What else?
Less transport costs.
Exactly. So now you're thinking about less transport cost. Because currently you have to have 40 vehicles to supply them. When a chunk of them are moving to mid-size, you're happy because, wow, that transport logistic, that problem is taken off you. They're going to come to my warehouse to pick up goods. So again, then you can start considering these are assets that we've used. Maybe we can now sell them and get some money back, or depending on the dynamics of your business. But essentially, you probably start feeling good because then the prescriptive is saying that customer A is up for renewal in 30 days and just reported higher earnings, upsell to product X and pair with complementary product Y. So this is giving you a prescriptive analysis that, based on what you know about your customer, right? He had higher earnings, that means he's made more money. You probably can get some from him. And he's saying that his renewal date for a new contract is going to expire as well. So that's what prescriptive analysis gives you. It tells you what you can do based on the information that you have. Any questions? So this is what a framework of BI looks like. It starts with, but mostly this is just for your information. Some people enable it, produce it, some people consume it. In an organization, it's very similar to this. Don't worry about this for now, but you can just reflect back. You can refer back to it if you need to look at how it's structured. But if you look in between, so if you look at this at the bottom, which is enabling, you can see that it describes organize, integrate, share. Then you move into descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, prescriptive. And this is key. And so here is what you call decision automation. That's what I want you guys to focus on. So we've talked about descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. But the highest level of business intelligence is when the system can now take decision on your behalf. So last class we talked about a software that was able to trade based on what is seen. So this is what you call full optimization, when the system can actually readjust itself based on the information that it has. So you don't have to get involved to actually take action. But you want a system that you get optimized to a level where you can the decision is made and is actually actioned. And so you can see here that a lot of human involvement, and when you get to prescriptive, you want it to just be action-based. But in an ideal system that is fully optimized, you actually have a system where the system actually takes action. Any questions? Okay, I think we'll go for a short break in a bit. All right, guys, so I'm just going to round this up again in one sentence. So I want you guys to actually tell me, so where do you start from in terms of, so you have descriptive. So what's the next step? Okay. And the predictive? Okay. And the final step, guys, the final step is, what do you really want to happen? Action. So you want to act on it. And what you want a system that can actually go through all of this and does it automatically. That's when you said you have fully optimized and you have a business intelligence system that goes through this process and actually act on it. But most organizations don't have that ideal situation at the moment, so there are different stages. But if you can even get to this point, it's really good, and the humans take action. But if you have a system where all of this can happen without any human interaction or any human input, that's what you want to call a fully optimized business intelligence platform. All right, guys, take 15-minute break and come back.
I forgot to put my fingerprint.
Oh, so you need to do that now, and let Debbie know as well.
I don't know.